welcome to our online session. I am A.K.M. Shamim, head teacher, Bandor Aminullah Secondary School. Now I am going to start my lovely session. Class 10, subject English, second paper, topic close. Dear learners, to understand close, you have to understand what is finite verb. If you do not understand, if you do not have clear information, full information about the idea of finite verb, it will be very difficult for you to understand, to find out the clause. So before discussing clause, I am going to discuss the symptoms of identification of finite verb. Look at the board. I am going to write down some symptoms of finite verb. I would like to say that if there is a verb which is in past form, it will always be finite verb. For example, look at the board and listen to me very carefully. Here is a verb. This verb is the past form of go or goes. If the verb is in past form, it will always be finite verb because it is used according to tense. Past form. A past form is always, the past form of a verb is always finite verb. I can say you another example. Sweet learners, look at the board and listen to me very carefully. This is a sentence. There are one more verbs. One is seen and the another verb is was. Was is in past form. It is the past form of am is a be verb of past form. The present form of be verb is am is and past form is was were. Here is was. It is past form. So it will be finite verb. If there is no finite verb, it cannot be a sentence or a clause. At least you must have a finite verb. A clause must contain a finite verb. Without a finite verb, being a clause is quite unimaginary. It's absolutely impossible without a finite verb. So you have to understand the finite verb. If you do not understand it, it is very difficult to identify a clause. Here is another verb, but it is not finite verb. It is ing added verb. If any verb is ing added, it would never be a finite verb. There are some symptoms of finite verb and some symptoms of being non-finite verb. This verb is infinite, is in past tense, so it is finite verb. Here is another symptoms of finite verb. If the verb is used with either s or es added, it will be also finite verb. I am going to write down an example of this. Dear learners, look at the board. Look at this sentence. In this sentence there is one more verb. First verb is does and second is learn. You may ask me, what is finite verb? If you listen to my words, you will be very well conscious about the idea of finite verb. This verb is es added, so it will be finite verb. If a verb contains s or es at last of it, either we can say s or es added verb is always finite verb. Here do, root word is do, and es is added after it, so it is finite verb. If a verb contains s or es at the end of the verb, it will be always finite verb. We can write another example. Dear learners, look at the board. There is a sentence, mother sometimes feeds me. There is only one verb and the verb is feeds. Feed is the base for and s is added at the end of the verb. So this verb is s added. So it is called finite verb. So we can say if a verb contains either s or s at the end of it, it will must be a finite verb. So we can say another symptoms of finite verb for its identification. If there is only one verb in a sentence, it will must be a finite verb. I am going to write down another example. There is only one verb in this sentence, so this verb must be finite verb. In this sentence there is a single verb, the verb is beats, so it must be a finite verb. We can say how many finite verbs in a sentence, how many finite verbs, how many clauses. As many finite verbs, as many clauses. In Bengali locally we can say where there is a finite verb, there is a clause. Without a finite verb, a clause cannot be composed. So I am going to write down another example of this sentence. We can also say it is finite verb because this verb contains on s at the end of this verb. So it is another symbol of the identification of finite verb. I am going to write down another example. In this sentence, there is only one verb. There is only one verb, so it is finite verb. We can also say it is finite verb in another way because there is es is added at the end of the verb. The verb base form is go and es is added after go. So it is another symptom for the identification of finite verb. Es is added after the base form of this verb, so it is also finite verb. We can also write down another example. Sorry, there is a spelling wrong. Learners, in this sentence there is only one verb. This verb is look, so it is also finite verb. We have discussed some symptoms for the identification of finite verb. Now I am going to write down another symptoms of for the identification of finite verb. We have discussed here if there is only one verb, but now this question may arise: if there is one more verb, what will be the finite verb? I can say here, if there is one more verb in a sentence, in maximum case, the first verb is finite verb. At the which verb is used at first, maximum time it is finite verb. I can write down its another example. Sorry. He didn't come here yesterday. There is one more verb. One is did and another is come. What is finite verb in this sentence? I have previously said that if there is one more verb in a sentence, a maximum time first verb of the sentence may be finite verb. Not always, but maximum time. I also say you that not always the first verb is finite, but maximum time this first verb is finite. Yeah, here we can also say another symptom of this verb for being finite. It is in past form. Do, does is the present form of did. It is past. It is in past form. So did is absolutely finite verb. We can write down another example. This is another example of this rule. There is one more verb in this sentence, am and going. Am is the first verb, so it is finite verb. There is another rule, which verb is used according to the number and person of subject and tense. It is called also finite verb. Dear learners, listen to it very carefully and try to preserve in your memory that if the verb is changed according to the subject and its number and persons and tense, it is called also finite verb. Here this verb is changed according to the subject and tense. I can write down another example. It is also in present continuous tense. This sentence is also in present continuous tense. Here is also going, here is also going. But the be verb is not the same. I can discuss you here. The subject is also singular. It is also singular, but the be verb is not the same. It is have, it is. Here the subject is first person singular and it is third person singular. If the subject is first person singular, be verb would be in present tense am, and if the subject is third person, be verb is. Dear learners, I am going to write down another rule of identification for this identification of finite verb. Look at the board and try to understand the sentence, the distinction between the sentence. Here the subject is I, here the subject is also I. So there is no discrimination among the persons and number of the subject. Both the subject are the same number and same person, but the verb is not the same. There is a similarity between this verb, but there is a discrimination among between these two verbs. It is am and it is was. You may ask me why the verb is different. The answer is very easy. It is in present continuous tense and it is in past continuous tense. So we can say here that if the verb is changed according to the tense, this verb is must be finite verb. Here it is used according to this tense. Here was, it is also used according to its tense. So it is finite verb. Finally we can say which verb is used according to tense. It must be finite verb. There is another identification of finite verb. Here both the sentences are in the same tense. It is present continuous. It is also in present continuous tense. Here subject is I. It is first person singular. Here subject is we. First person plural. Both these sentences are in the same tense, but the verb is not, all verbs are not in the same form. It is am, it is are. What is the cause of being the discrimination between the two verbs? There is a similarity of this verb. We know that in all continuous tenses, principal verb must contain ing at the end of it. But here is am, here is are. There is also a partly similarity between the two subject. It is first person, it is also first person. I is first person, we is also first person. But the number of the two subjects are not the same. It is first person singular and it is first person plural. So, first person, if the subject is first person singular, among the be verb, among am is are, the verb must be am, and if it is first person plural, it is are. Here this difference between, the cause of being difference between the two parts is the number of the subject. Finally, we can say that which verb is sensed, which verb is used according to the number of the sentence. Another we can say which verb varies from the subject and number and person. Here the number is not the same. It is singular number and it is plural number. Finally, we can say, if the verb is changed according to the number of the subject, this verb must be finite verb. So here am is finite verb, here are is finite verb. Another question may rise: if there is one more verb in this sentence, which verb must be finite verb? If the verb is ing, some symptoms will help you to identify the finite verb, which may identify finite verb, and which symptoms will help you to identify which verbs are not finite verb. Which verb are not finite? I am going to write down some symptoms. Which symptoms will help you to identify which verb are not finite verb? If any verb is ing added, if any verb is ing added, if any verb is 2 plus verb 1 or base form. If any verb is in past participle form. If the verb is in past participle form, if there is to before a verb, if the verb contains ing, this verb will never be a finite verb. I am going to mention again that if a verb is ing added, if there is to before a verb, if the verb is in past participle form, it never be finite verb. So these symptoms contains verb may be at any place of sentence, but they never be a finite verb. They may be used at the end of the sentence, at the beginning of the sentence, at the middle of the sentence, wherever it may be used, but it never be finite verb. We also said that if there is one more verb, the first verb is maximum time finite verb, but if the verb is ing added at the beginning, it may not be finite verb. I am going to write down an example. Dear learners, look at the board and listen to me very carefully. This sentence, there are one more verb. One verb is began and one verb is herein. There is one more verb, but which verb is finite here? What we have discussed before, from our discussion, we may identify very easily that this verb is in past form. The past form, its present form is begin. The past form of begin is began. we have discussed that past form must be finite verb. So these verb must not be finite. Dear learners, listen to me. Here, this verb is in ing added. Here is the root form. Here is the base form, and ing is added after this base form of this verb. So, ing added verb will never be finite verb. It may be at the beginning, at the middle, at the end of this sentence. It never be finite verb. I am going to write you another example. There is one more verb, saw and going. Saw is the finite verb because it is in past form, and going is not finite verb because it is ing added, and ing added verb will never be a finite verb. I am going to write down another example of this rule. There is one more verb, tell and is. It is not finite verb because there is to before this verb. If to is used before a verb, this verb never be finite verb. But here is the finite verb. Here, if this verb is not finite, it must be finite because we know that if sentence a clause must not be without a finite verb. Without having a finite verb, we cannot imagine a clause or a sentence. If it is not finite, so this verb must be finite. Another example. There is also two verbs, saw and go. It is not finite verb because there is to before the base form of this verb. So if a verb is used after to, or if to is used before a verb, this verb may not be finite verb. It must be finite verb. I am going to write down another rule. The past participle form of this sentence in your previous classes, especially in 6, your teacher have taught you the three forms of a verb: present form, past form, and past participle. In 3 rows, these verbs you have had to memorize. At the end row, in the third row forms of this verb are past participle. I am going to write down another example, present form. This is the past form of this verb, go, goes, and went. Its past participle form is gone. This past participle form will never be a finite verb. It may be used wherever in a sentence, but it never be a finite verb because it is past participle verb. It is another form of infinite verb. I am going to write down a sentence by using a past participle verb. Look at the board. Driven by the police, the criminal fled from the slum. In this sentence, there are one more verb. One is driven and another is failed. This verb is in past participle form. Is base form is drive. Drive, drove, driven. Driven is the past participle form of drive or drive. So it is in past participle form, so it must not be a finite verb. But what is this finite verb in this sentence? The rest verb must be finite verb. I am going to say again, without finite verb we cannot imagine a sentence. So this verb is finite. There is another symptom for its identity because it is in past form. A past form is always a finite verb. Dear learners, we may discuss our next chapter on polos. I hope that all will join with us to enjoy the online session. Thanking you. No more today. Bye.